Industrial Hemp. Industrial hemp has over 5,000 uses. It can be used to make paper, rope, and textiles. It can also be used as a biofuel, battery, and building material. It's extremely absorbent. It can be used to make animal bedding, to clear impurities from wastewater, to clean up oil spills, and to clean up contaminants at locations like the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Hemp is a more sustainable option. 1 acre of hemp produces as much fiber as 2 to 3 acres of cotton. 1 acre of hemp will produce as much paper as 2 to 4 acres of trees. This includes making products such as tissue paper and cardboard. You don't need pesticides to grow it, and it's ready in 120 days. Industrial hemp has a high nutritional value. It's high in unsaturated fatty acids, rich in B vitamins, dietary minerals, manganese, phosphorus, magnesium, iron, zinc, and fiber. It can also be used as an animal food, as a forage, because it has such a high nutritional value. It can be processed into oil and used as a medicine. You don't get high from this medicine, but it can stop things like seizures or help with joint problems. There are so many different things it can help. Marijuana and industrial hemp share the same family and genus, with the genus being cannabis. Species include sativa, indica, and ruderalis. Included in this are many subspecies or varieties. They both contain cannabinoids. Over 60 have been found. Of those, the most studied are THC and CBD. THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol, contains psychoactive properties. THC is high in marijuana plants but low in industrial hemp, while CBDs are low in marijuana and high in industrial hemp. So you don't get high from smoking industrial hemp because it has a low THC content. Some industrial hemp is grown for seed and some is grown for fiber. From seed hemp, you can make confections, beer, flour, feed, dietary fiber, snacks, non-dairy milk, and baking additives. Hemp oil is used to make cooking additives, salad dressings, dietary supplements, fuel, detergents, spreads, paints, and used for its medicinal properties. Fiber varieties of hemp are used to make fabric, insulation, carpeting, paneling, pulp and paper, recycling additives, automobile parts, animal bedding, and mulch. So why aren't we growing more industrial hemp? Industrial hemp is legal in many states at the state level, such as in Virginia, Colorado, and Kentucky. However, it's still labeled as a Class 1 Schedule 1 drug at the federal level. In order to grow industrial hemp in Virginia, you have to partner with the university, write a research proposal, register with the DEA, get a state license, and you even have to have a background check and get your fingerprints taken. At least 20 states passed laws creating industrial hemp research pilot programs. With the exception of West Virginia, industrial hemp is defined as a variety of cannabis with a THC concentration not more than 0.3%. For West Virginia, it's not more than 1%. At least 16 states have legalized industrial hemp production for commercial purposes, while 7 states have approved a pilot research program and commercial programs, including Colorado, Kentucky, Maryland, Minnesota, North Dakota, Rhode Island, and Virginia. They only have certain deadlines for this research proposal, so like right now we can't grow any industrial hemp for the upcoming year. We wouldn't be able to get industrial hemp in the ground until 2018 unless it becomes declassified at the federal level. Hey guys, it's Kimberly. I'm at Virginia State University and I just met with the professors over the hemp that they're growing. They're growing different types of hemp. They were able to get their seeds from Europe and from Canada. It's pretty interesting, and I looked at the amount that they have planted. They're planting different types of industrial hemp. Some are for grain, some are for fiber. I'm working with the professors at BSU to come up with a marketability plan for hemp. And the biggest thing is that we've got to change the laws at the federal level. Hemp, industrial hemp, could make such a huge difference for farmers. Sorry, it's a little windy. It could really change the landscape of Virginia. It would be so good for the environment, and it would be profitable for our farmers who are suffering. We need to educate the general population on what hemp is. Hey you guys, it's Kimberly with Real Progressives. I'm in Charlottesville, Virginia at Cardinal Hall. It's a Virginia Industrial Hemp Business Night. We will have speakers tonight about industrial hemp. We have speakers coming from all over the place, from Maryland, from Kentucky. Bernard is a farmer who is interested in growing industrial hemp. This is Brian Walden. He is one of the first farmers in Virginia to grow industrial hemp. That is a major big deal. Wow, he did 20 acres of industrial hemp and was able to process it on his farm. What type of industrial hemp did you grow? Did you grow seed hemp or a fiber hemp?
It was a dual variety.
Hey, this is Kimberly with Real Progressives. I'm here with Marty Phipps. He has a company that makes bedding, animal bedding out of hemp that's very, very popular.
My name is Marty Phipps. I own Old Dominion Hemp. We basically import hemp bedding for equines and small animals. We've had great success for it. It is extremely absorbent, low dust, it's biodegradable.
I am with Tati Colina. She makes clothing from hemp.
Basic Art was founded in 2014. It's a fusion between action sports, streetwear, and hemp.
I'm very excited to run into Nate Fritzen because he is with Normal.
I'm a college Republican with Northern Virginia Community College. I chair the local Republican chapter there. And I'm part of Normal, a national organization for the reform of marijuana laws. It's an organization that works all across the country trying to get legislation passed favorable not only to the hemp industries, but for the flower and for every single part of the plant. One of the most important things that we do and what we hope to accomplish is to open up legislation that is favorable to the liberty causes, particularly allowing individuals to put into their bodies whatever they please without the fear of government regulation or without the fear of being thrown in jail. As a young man, I can actually attest to how some individuals have been thrown in jail. I myself have been thrown in jail for the consumption of marijuana. And one of the things that Normal works for is trying to decriminalize and legislate, try to take away the market away from the cartels and the drug gangs and move into legitimate businesses, much like the ones we've seen here today. You know, Virginia has a long and wonderful history of growing tobacco. And I think that if we were to bring cannabis into Virginia, I think it'd be a great opportunity to build businesses, build coalitions, and build communities.
And I just want to make a point that this is really a non-partisan issue, and it's an issue I think that we can all come together on, no matter what your party may be.
Absolutely. In fact, the greatest cause that I perpetuate is the cause of liberty. I think whether Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, or Green Party, I believe we all can work together.
Here with their legal advisor, Sam Johnston, and he's going to talk about what's holding up hemp from being able to, I guess, produce it and sell it.
Hemp is inevitable because it's an incredibly useful crop and it's a part of our history. Now the hemp economy will be unleashed as soon as Congress passes the Industrial Hemp Farming Act. That will remove hemp from the Controlled Substances Act, and it will no longer be illegal to grow hemp in America. Currently, under current federal law, hemp is illegal because it's associated with marijuana. But the Industrial Hemp Farming Act, which has been introduced into Congress, is gaining co-sponsors. Recently, Senator Mark Warner from Virginia co-sponsored the bill, and we are very hopeful that this bill will pass Congress in the next year. As soon as this bill passes, American farmers will be able to grow hemp for commercial purposes again. So I would urge all listeners to get in touch with your congressmen and your senators and urge them to co-sponsor and support the Industrial Hemp Farming Act, which will unleash the potential of the hemp economy in America. Thank you.
Hey you guys, it's Kimberly with Real Progressives. I'm live from the farm. You may hear a rooster in the background or the horses eating lots of hay. I wanted to summarize last night. I went to the Virginia Industrial Hemp Coalition Business Night. What was really neat is that they brought people in from Maryland and Kentucky who have grown hemp and who are making hemp products. The important thing about them making hemp products, it means that there's a market for it, and so we need farmers in America now growing industrial hemp. And some of the speakers that were there, Green Remedy, that was really interesting because this guy takes industrial hemp and he's able to process it into oils. It has helped so many people. There was a little boy who had seizures, and not long after taking the oil, he stopped having seizures. And a lot of people have had like joint problems and all sorts of stuff. They've been able to help them with that. So we need to really work on deregulating industrial hemp. Also there last night was Old Dominion Hemp. That is located in Virginia. They make animal bedding, and it actually absorbs a whole lot better than your regular animal bedding. The animal bedding is made out of wood normally, and so it just kind of runs off. It doesn't absorb. And apparently he needs a massive amount of hemp, and he's getting it from other countries right now. We need our farmers growing it now. There really is a market for it. Victory Hemp Foods was there. He's been able to make an entire market line using hemp inside of foods, and he's doing really good with his business. CV Sciences was there. The big thing is that they say is that people just need to go out and start buying hemp products, because as people start buying hemp products, people see that there's a market for it. Like they said last night, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. They're growing it in Colorado and Kentucky. We need to find out what they're doing. We need to come up with methods of processing it. And I need farmers to grow it. And I know that first they kind of need to know if there's really a market for it. But I'll tell you, after talking to these people last night, I have an idea of mass amounts of industrial hemp that are needed for the products that they're producing now. So any Virginia farmers, contact me. Let me know if you want to get in on the game with industrial hemp, and contact your congresspeople to let them know that, you know, this needs to be deregulated. If you smoke industrial hemp, you do not get high, you get sick. And I also want to say that you never want to grow your marijuana plants that you smoke with industrial hemp, because they can crossbreed. And industrial hemp has a lower THC value, and it's going to contaminate your marijuana. I'm not saying to go grow any marijuana because that's illegal, right? But anyway, that's important for farmers to know. For example, if you're in Virginia and you're growing some industrial hemp, and let's say someone decides locally that they're going to hide their pot plant in your crop of industrial hemp, it's going to mess up their pot plant pretty bad.
We are importing from Europe right now, and I can tell you that more than doubles the cost of what it is for me to supply it to you. I can tell you right now the numbers that I've put together for any individual farmer that's in this room. If they wanted to grow for my company next year, I need that person to have at least 12,000 acres. That's a lot. That's not 300, that's not 50, that's not 20, that's 12,000 acres. So we're talking to replicate what we are putting out as a company in state.
12,000 acres worth of bird every year?
Very much so. If you took all of the states that are growing all of the hemp needed just for our individual company, it wouldn't be enough. This is an industry that is in its infancy. I'm talking infancy. It is unbelievable where the ceiling for this is, and I don't even know if there is one. My market, specifically alone, I mean, we're looking at I'm just going to guesstimate, $500 million industry in just horses, and bedding.
We're growing in all of North America, okay, including Canada, which has incumbents that have gone through major exits. There's maybe 80,000 acres grown in North America combined. 10,000 acres grown in the United States. We have 33 states that have research provisions. So it's not a lot. To give you some perspective on that, if we're growing 80,000 acres in all of North America, just in the United States, we're growing 190 million acres of corn and soy, right? An enormous amount. So if we really do have the conviction that this plant has so much potential to fight climate change, can impact rural economies. If you don't know why you should eat hemp foods, I think it's kind of cool, and I'll take just a second to, you probably do know, right? But I'm just going to take a second to give you that public service announcement anyways. We offer 3 different products right now. We offer hemp hearts, hemp oil, and hemp protein. In any of those various forms, they're going to offer a bevy of nutritional benefits. So hemp has the most amount of digestible protein of any plant out there, which is kind of amazing, right? It's 98% digestible. So you compare that to soy, which we're growing 80 million acres of. It's a really crappy source of protein. It's only 45% digestible. It's got all sorts of phytoestrogens that make your body think it's getting different hormones. It's no bueno for a lot of different reasons. Hemp has 98% digestible protein. It has all 20 amino acids, but it has all 9 essential amino acids. It doesn't have a lot of lysine, but it does have one amino acid called L-arginine. L-arginine is the precursor for nitrous oxide. So if there's any athletes in the room, if there's any parents of athletes in the room, or if there's any parents of kids to be born athletes in the room, they're going to be really excited about this thing called creatine. It's the same effect, right? It's the precursor of nitrous oxide. It helps oxygenate your blood, helps repair your muscles and your organs, makes you healthier, makes your muscles stronger for longer. So that's one thing that's really cool, is the protein side of it. And then we have this other side of it. It's the oil, right? So we take the seeds and we press the seeds and we get the oil out of it. And that oil has the ideal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids. That's a big industry. That's an $8 billion industry. So, we look at this $8 billion global fish oil industry, the sticky industry. We look at the $44 billion U.S. industry of plant-based proteins, and there's so much hype around hemp, but it's all for kind of a good reason, right? And if you will, kind of like indulge me just a little bit about the 190 million acres of corn and soy that we're growing, which is not really good. The amount of genetic engineering and chemicals that need to go along with controlling something of that volume is monstrous. And if we're working with a plant that can be grown on a smaller amount of acreage, it can have a larger impact for a lot more people, right? So one of the things you learn about Kentucky and a lot of the South is we have the most amount of farmers, but we also have the highest declining rate of small family farmers, right? So this is kind of important, I think, to the economy of our country, is not the entire country aggregating in our urban centers, but to be holding down these rural areas and all being able to make a living. Consumers, when it comes to food, studies show, will purchase more natural than they will conventional. They'll purchase more organic than they will natural, and they'll purchase more local than they will all three.
My name's Chad Wilson. My company is Green Remedy. We're a Kentucky Proud Hemp Company. We were selling $200 and $300 bottles of CBD oil when it came out at a flea market. That's where we started. People said, "You guys are crazy." Next thing you know, we was doing $6,000, $8,000 a month, and we was like, "Hey, we really can do this." The CBD is the compound that's helping the children with seizures and different muscular dystrophy, all kinds of different things. I want to just tell you real briefly, I have a young man, his name is Eli. He's 6 years old, he's from Hyden, Kentucky, and Eli was suffering. We found out about him. He was in the Lexington Herald newspaper. Reached out to him, finally found the parents, they changed their names. After 3 days of hunting on Facebook, I finally found a picture of that little red-headed boy, and I called his mama and I said, "Please don't think I'm crazy." And she said, what? I said, "My name's Chad Wilson, I'm with Green Remedy Hemp Company." She immediately starts crying. She said, "I've been looking for CBD. We gave Eli, he's suffering from over 25 grand mal seizures a day, and then over 75 micro seizures a day. 2 days on CBD, which we give to him, and we take care of several companies. The only reason I want to tell you that is that I want to prove who we are as a company. Yes, we have to make income to keep our doors open. But I do this for one reason, and that's the people that need this compound. The second is for my farmers. Eli had a need. 2 days in, Eli quit having seizures. 3 days in, at 6 years old, Eli never spoke. Eli said his first 2 words. 8 days in, Eli started speaking in sentences. You can go on Facebook on Green Remedy. You can see this story on August the 21st from the Bowling Green Daily News. I have a little girl named Serenity. She has a disease this long I can't even begin to pronounce it. Her little hands are stuck together. She's been this way for 7 years, over 60 seizures a day, 1 month on CBD, which we give to her. And Serenity's arms are moving. Serenity is seizure-free. Serenity has started to say words. There's power in this plant. My father had a stroke March of 2015. I don't even know if you know this. My father, 6 months into it, my father wasn't getting any better. He was living with me. They said he would never live on his own, never drive, and absolutely never do his passion again, and that's riding his motorcycle. 6 months I watched my father flounder around and not getting any better, couldn't speak. It might take him 3 minutes to answer you at yes or no questions he could answer, but if you had to formulate a sentence, oftentimes he couldn't do it. I went to my sister-in-law and I said, she's a doctor. I said, I've had enough. I want to put him on CBD. She wouldn't let me put him on CBD. She said, there's not any scientific evidence, so we called Germany. We called our contacts in Germany. They've been studying this for nearly 30 years. Israel, right at 58 years. He's got a bunch of neurological studies and sent to her. You know what her response was? These are invalid because they were not done in the United States. So I proceeded to call her a hypocrite. And let me tell you why. Because I told her, I said, Annie, you drive that German engineered car because you said that BMW has better science behind it. So how can you say that this is invalid? She didn't have anything to say. So at that point, I put my father on CBD and I put my father on Chad's hemp parts, and I put him on 1 teaspoon a day of cold-pressed hemp oil because the compounds that regenerate DNA are found in cold-pressed hemp oil. My father, you can go to my Facebook, you can see it. My father, after being on CBD for less than 10 days, we go to a speech therapist in Bowling Green, Kentucky, John Paul Logston, at the Greenview Regional Hospital. He walks out and he says, oh my God, Chad, what have y'all done? This is nothing short of amazing. February of this year, my father moved out on his own. Yeah. 3 weeks later, my father was driving his truck. And I don't know what it is now, 50 days, something like that. My father came back from Sturgis on his motorcycle.
The biggest thing I want to get across to you guys is start buying hemp. Start buying hemp, whether it's Canadian hemp or European hemp or whatever. Whatever you can find in your local market, check it out. We're in a local health food store here in Charlottesville. It's one of the 950 stores we're in now. When I get the sales report every month, we're doing a couple commas worth of business. And that seems like a lot, right? But it's not, because this business is expensive. This material is not cheap, and importing it makes it that much harder. The biggest thing I want to get across to you guys is start buying hemp. Start buying hemp, whether it's Canadian hemp or European hemp or whatever. Whatever you can find in your local market, check it out. We're in a local health food store here in Charlottesville. It's one of the 950 stores we're in now. When I get the sales report every month, we're doing a couple commas worth of business. And that seems like a lot, right? But it's not, because this business is expensive. This material is not cheap, and importing it makes it that much harder. There's a lot of room for all these companies, and I say all the time, we're a product developer. We have a pharmaceutical line. We're working on chewing gum to help people quit.
So what can you do? You can contact your legislators and ask them to take industrial hemp off of the Class 1 Schedule 1 drug list.